And without further ado, I would like to introduce our next speaker, Stratton Hatfield, our lovely MC for the evening.
Thank you, Yassine. It's an absolute pleasure to be here tonight, but I just want to let you guys know that I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my two other business partners, Juan Curtis and Thomas Stowe, who are in the audience right now. These guys, we've been working together for a very long time on this project, and it's an absolute honor to be here to talk to you about this. So without further ado, I'm going to talk about people power and authenticated polling and how this relates to Bermuda. So it seems like for centuries around the world, people have been using power, the power of people, to rally and to protest and to try to change the status quo. But the reality in 2017 is that it seems like people are still fighting for some of the same things that we've been fighting for decades. And some things that our forefathers and mothers have been fighting for are not changing like they could. Meanwhile, in Bermuda, it seems like some of the same things in our local population are still trying to be addressed. And I've been left with asking myself, how could we be more effective with actually changing things and changing the status quo in Bermuda? So I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about this concept and what it means. So in Little Bermuda, I like to think that there are a variety of different organizations, groups, or silos, as you could refer to them, that make up our country. We all have Bermuda in our mind, and we all have Bermuda in our thoughts, but the one problem is that we're not actually communicating about what Bermuda wants, what Bermuda needs, or what Bermuda doesn't want. So I'm thinking about a better way of approaching this. How can we put Bermuda at the center of decision making? And how can we make sure that these organizations are all on the same equal playing ground so that when it comes to decision making, we understand what Bermuda wants and we understand what Bermuda needs? So just think about that as I go through this presentation, because we need to be building more bridges between these organizations. Because one of the most important things that we're missing these days is strong data. Data to use to make decisions. Because once we have strong data, we can have knowledge. Once we have this knowledge, we can actually use it to make change happen and enact action in our community. So think about how we can use data. In Bermuda, we're used to polls and surveys. People might be familiar with Royal Gazette polls. There's an unbiased element to them because multiple people can vote on one particular topic. Also, you know, we might think the OBA is going to win, we might think the PLP is going to win, but we don't really know. And how accurate are these polls? I think one of the biggest underliers of these polls is that they're a sample size of only 400 registered voters. So, in our opinion, we feel as though we could be capturing more information. I think the other part about this is that it's a appropriate size of the population considering race, gender, and age, that is. So we're thinking about how can we collect more information from what we call the people of Bermuda. The people of Bermuda are made up of more than just those 400 people. We are the people that make up this community, whether we're Bermudians or whether we're work permit holders, whether we're visitors to the island or we're permanent resident certificate holders, spouses of Bermudians and parents of Bermudian children. We all make up Bermuda. And like my friend Alex was saying, is that we're all heavily connected to these devices. But to his point and to my point, how can we use these devices to use them as a tool? And how can we use them to be more effective in actually enacting and getting things to change around our community? So we see this as a valuable tool to use. After all, in Bermuda, we're very passionate about particular topics. Politics, the environment, culture, community, consumerism, industry, economy, and for lack of a better term, crown and anchor as well. We could list it as miscellaneous. But the reality is we're all passionate about these things, and there must be a way to deal with it. So what we've done, and we're proud to announce tonight, is a website called WeCount.bm. WeCount.bm is going to be Bermuda's first authenticated polling website. This is going to be a way for us to collect and present authenticated positions from people associated with Bermuda, and a way for us to actually see data in real time and think about how we can use this data to empower people. The main premise behind this, though, is getting people to learn, getting people to think and contribute to these topics. Learn about both sides of the discussion. Vote anonymously on topics, and then see the data in real time so that they can be empowered to do whatever they want with the data, however they want. The beauty of it, though, is that we're trying to create an authenticated polling website. So we're going to be using authenticated power. Bermudians that vote and sign up on our website are going to be authenticated with the parliamentary registrar. So they're going to be able to cross-reference themselves and confirm that they are Bermudians. Whereas everyone else, we're going to be using a referral program to get more people signed up and vetted by existing users that are on the website. So it's all about growing an honest and accurate user base. We really feel it's important for this to be the main component of this in order to generate this data and to show accurate data that represents, once again, the people of Bermuda. And that will play an important role. So this is our homepage. The website is in beta version right now, which means that it's actually not public. We're looking forward to launching it soon, but we're looking for people to sign up, to give us feedback, and to give us their input. As you saw, there's a variety of different categories. There's a total of 7 that we've listed so far. And as I mentioned, the concept is to learn, to vote, and then to be empowered. All of our poll questions will have descriptions in them. Our intention is to show an unbiased perspective, identifying both sides to the topic so that people can learn about that. They can also post pros and cons on the website so that you can see how people feel about these topics. And then, once you vote on it, you're going to be part of an incentive scheme. So we've created something called We Points. We Points is designed to reward you for how you participate and contribute to our online community. Every vote that you participate in, every comment that you post, every pro and comment that you produce, that will be added up and it can be used to redeem for rewards, prizes, raffles, and what have you. But the bottom line is our website's going to be generating data that shows how our community feels about topics. It's going to be showing that data in real time. It's going to be showing things like race, age, gender, what parish you're living in, constituency, and of course, your association to Bermuda, so that we can see the breakdown of this. And we can start putting Bermuda back in the center of decision-making and putting the people of Bermuda back in the center of our decision-making so that all of these groups and organizations can understand exactly what we want or what we don't want and recognize that we need to all be playing on an equal playing ground if we really want to improve Bermuda and make this a better place. So, without further ado, it's an absolute honor to be launching WeCount.bm at PechaKucha, and I would encourage anyone that's interested in trying out our beta website to come up to me, talk to me at the end of the presentations, and sign up. Give us your feedback. Tell us what you think. And remember that in the end, this is about all of us working together and being empowered with data. So thank you so much.
Any questions for the presenter? The beautiful lady who may or may not be my mother, back there.
Thank you, sir. Stratton, as you know, I'm a big fan. My kid's a big fan.
I'm a big fan
Totally there. You used the word authenticate and authenticated several times.
Yes.
You also used the sample size of the most commonly used surveys, which is 400
Yes.
residents or people, you know, that are associated with Bermuda. So, I love the idea. What would stop me from going on and logging on as several users? Like, how would you authenticate each single individual
Good
once
question.
at a time user?
Yeah, I wish I could have clarified this better. So, so she was saying, how are you going to prove that people are authenticating themselves and actually real people instead of duplicating profiles? So right now the concept is Yassine could sign up and he would authenticate himself as a Bermudian. Once Yassine is verified, he could vet the next person. So someone else could provide their details, and Yassine could say, this is Stratton Hatfield, and he is Bermudian, and he does live in Paget, and he was born on this date, and therefore authenticate myself. And then once I'm authenticated, then I could go on to Louis, and then Louis could go on to Chloe, and then Chloe could go on to whoever. And this is how we could grow this naturally. But it does go back to generating an honest and accurate user base. So that's a good question. Time will tell how that happens.
Yes,
Lawrence. Good question. So all of our data is going to be secure on our platform. You have the option to post comments under a pseudonym or under your real name, But when it comes to voting, all voting will be anonymous and all of that data will be kept secure. So we have no plans to be allowing that out into the public. That's going to be remaining private. Does that answer your question?
And I wish you all the best with it. I just wanted one point of clarification. You mentioned incentives for how you vote. Is it how you vote or how much you vote?
Sorry, no, not incentive for how you vote, incentive for when you vote. So the more you vote, the more you contribute, the more you comment, the more points you will get. So no, we're not rewarding you if you're going to vote on all the things what you want you to vote on. But good question though, thank you. Aideen. Yes. Yeah, we've witnessed this on Burn News and Facebook, unfortunately. In the beginning, we're going to be playing close moderation of that, but we've set up a report button, which we are encouraging our users to self-facilitate and to report on comments that break our posting guidelines. So really, it goes back to creating that honest user base. Yes, Toby? Awesome question. So yes, we will be inviting people to participate and post their own poll questions, but part of the website is that once you've completed the last part of authentication, you will have the power to submit your own polls. Now granted, they will be vetted by our administration, but you will have the power as a user that's gone through what we refer to as our ultimate authentication to post your own polls.